Hi again. Now that y'all have seen my introductory video, I want to read something that I found today while I was waiting for my car to be fixed. This says, cells, your electrical superconductors. To really understand our light bodies, we have to travel down to the cellular level. We were all taught in school to look at cell biology in terms of chemistry. We learned about this lock and key mechanism whereby molecules are bumping around and getting in and out of the cell. But what we weren't taught is the electromagnetic function of our cells and the way they communicate through light. Cells are the building blocks of human bioelectricity. They generate tiny electric currents as a result of charge flow and changes in membrane potential, and thus generate tiny magnetic fields. These currents are created by the flow of electrically charged particles like calcium, potassium, sodium, and magnesium, also known as ions. They flow in and out of your cell membranes. The flow of these positively and negatively charged particles across the cell membrane is what generates the electrical currents that power our bodies. In turn, our cells are supported by the continual flow of electrons being delivered by oxygen and food. The electrical signaling function of our cells is imperative to our overall health. Disease is both the cause and the result of disruptions in this signaling system. It's been discovered in recent years that cancer cells steal electricity from the healthy cells. Research published last year in the journal Nature showed that certain types of deadly brain tumors, known as gliomas, work their way into the brain's electrical network and hijack the signal of healthy nerve cells, which they use to fuel their own growth. One of the study's authors, Heidelberg University neuroscientist Dr. Frank Winkler, described their behavior as vampire-like. That's a pretty great description. This is so much great information in here, and I don't have time to read it all. I would love to, but I don't. It is unbelievably enlightening. I was also reading something this morning that struck me as very important. It was talking about committing my thoughts to the plan of rightness. Because this morning when I had to go downtown, I was really getting a little bit doubt creep in. And automatically I said, now wait a minute here. There's no need for that. You don't want to go into that area. You know you're going to have little nervous spots. And I did. I had a couple of little nervous spots. But that's to be expected when I haven't done anything for a long time. It's all new. So it's not it's not a stressing fear. It's not a disabling fear anymore like it has been. It was just a little thing saying, hey, now be cautious. You've got, and I thought about it, and I thought, now wait a minute. You've got your map together. You know to watch where you're going, to watch for traffic, leave early. So I put all these things in my mind, and I said, now squash this doubt, get rid of it. Take all these things and put together in your mind what you know to be right. So there again, looking for that line of rightness instead of the wrong. Planning in what I want instead of what I don't want. So I went back over all the things about the positive thoughts and keeping that up there. And this was showing how control conditions through my words and my thoughts. So I can do that. I can control all those conditions through my words and my thought. And Yahweh has made me wiser than my enemies. It's been put to me that that the enemies within are that fear, are that worry, the doubt, all those things that cause me to be super distressed. Now, we all have to have a little stress. You got to have a little bit of negative to have a positive outcome, even in math. So, a little bit of knowing that the traffic can get bad in the morning and school has started again. So, to avoid the students going in and out and the people dropping them off, I mean, that's only common knowledge. So, those things are to be faced, but they're not to be feared anymore like I was. So, I just plan ahead. Everything is in the plan. That's what I've been saying for so long in my work area. Because if we don't have a plan laid out, chaos can hit pretty quick. And once that hits, as Bruce Lipton shows in his work, without a doubt, when that hits, you cannot think straight. You go into survival mode. You're no longer in growth mode. He likens it to taking a test, which is very true for me. My frontal lobe turns off. They show in this knowledge now that when you're asked a question and you're asked to give any answer, there's no right or wrong answer here, that people with frontal lobe damage can't answer. You just stop. You can't answer. And I've been faced with that before, so I pretty much know it's true. So I work on that frontal lobe, developing that frontal lobe thought. So anyway, the enemy is my negative thoughts. Anything that takes me down back into that survival mode instead of letting me grow. So that's where I'm at now, is growing. Growing up, not out. So anyway, I have reversed obesity. My body's just following through. I didn't get this way overnight. So anyway, back to, I got to quit this smacking thing. I don't know where that came from. I don't think I've ever done that before. Must be a nervous thing. So anyway, it says, finally, the army of the aliens is dissolved and dissipated because you do not give it your attention. Joe Dispenza talks about energy goes where attention flows, which I know to be very true. When I first started getting this research and putting it with scripture, I was reading that if you open your door and go out every morning and check your tires, like I was taught, you better check your tires before you get in your car. I look for rightness. I don't look for the wrong anymore. I don't look for a flat. I look for my filled tires. Like Zig Ziglar used to say, we were in sales when I was newly married. Zig Ziglar used to say, don't get a cold, get a warm. And if we look at things that way, if we set our mind on looking for the right, I used to have someone in my life that was always looking for what's wrong. She would watch me work to see what I was doing wrong. And I thought, once I would that she would watch what I'm doing right. And once I learned to see that in that area, then I could say, she's looking for what's right. She's not looking for what's wrong today. And it made my relationship with her a whole new situation. So anyway, back to this one where he's talking about your enemies within, the army of aliens within. Those aliens are those, what we call gods, inside, the fear that comes from the thoughts, that comes from the emotions that have programmed my body for many, many years. And this morning I kind of went back a little bit to living off that body of doubt and, I shouldn't do this. I better call somebody to drive me. And then I thought, wait a minute here. Wait just a minute. No, you're not going to go back into that survival mode. You are going to grow. And I did. I grew. And it was so wonderful. And I just had the most wonderful day. It was, I got my car work done so much cheaper than I had been quoted. Even threw in an oil change. Everything went just beautifully. And like I said, I had a few nervous spots, but you're going to. That's life. You're going to have those nervous spots. But I didn't give in to it. I didn't feed it. I squashed it immediately. So anyway, that's my little tidbit for the day. Thank you. I hope it helps somebody as much as it has me. We'll do it again. Shalom.